Hi, I'm Anthony from Sydney Backyard Veggies. I'm just over here at my cabbage patch. When I planted this out, I inadvertently planted a few cauliflower seedlings amongst the patch, and now they're ready to be harvested. So they've been smashed around a bit by the sun, especially the warm weather we've been having at the moment, but they are good to go. So I'm going to come along here, show you what I'm looking for when I harvest my cauliflowers and see what I end up with after I finish harvesting them. Just looking at my patch, it's mostly cabbages, but as you can see, I end up with 4 cauliflowers planted. There's one here, and I've got a couple of other ones just around here, and they are ready to go. They are yellowing slightly just because of the sun, but that shouldn't be a big deal. But what I'm looking for is to see if the curds are starting to separate around these sides, and these ones are just about to start. So I'm going to come through and harvest the 4 cabbages that I've got in this patch and take them indoors to stop them from spreading any further, but also just give these cabbages a little bit more space. I've got 20 cabbages in this spot and at various stages of growth, so I need to move these cauliflowers on and give the place a bit of space. So I'm going to go through now and harvest those. Generally speaking, I don't like growing cauliflower this late in the season, simply because they do tend to bolt as it starts warming up. But this is looking absolutely perfect. As you can see, good size of my palm. There, it does wilt a fair bit in the sun, even though it's been irrigated twice today. They still struggled a bit with the heat. But what I'm going to come through is just come and, again, just cut it from the base. And then, there you go, that's my harvest. Beautiful. So I'm going to come through, they're looking quite clean actually, there's no slugs, which is a big issue that I have with cauliflower. So I'm going to come through, get this out and just harvest the rest of it. So I've just got my cabbage here. Just going to pull off all the leaves and just show you what it looks like. The leaves will go to the chickens and I'll keep the rest. There you go. Looks good. Yeah, that was the right time to pick them. As you can see, they're just starting to separate here at the ends. So this is the perfect time to pick it. This variety is called All Seasons. It's a standard variety you can buy at a nursery. Not a commercial grade one, but that's fine. It still does it a nice head. So it's, if you don't want to spend, if you don't want to try to buy commercial grade seeds, this is actually a great variety to grow. It is yellowing a little bit, but that's because they've been wilting in the sun, and the sun's gotten to this. But these are fine, still edible, looking really, really good. Going to clean up the rest of the heads, and we'll see how we go with the final harvest. So that's my harvest, 4 heads. Look, they're all quite good quality. Some of them are quite small, which is not too bad, but they were all picked at the right time. I couldn't let them grow out any further than that. But look, happy with that. Those are my last cauliflowers for this season. I won't plant any more from now until February. I'll get my first batch in for next season in February. So happy to have harvested those. Gives the cabbages a bit more space to grow out. These will be turned into cauliflower rice or roasted cauliflower. We'll see what we do for them during the week. I was really happy with the cauliflower season I've had this year. Had some really good heads, so I'm glad that I've gotten these at the end, and looking forward to start planting them in the new year. So this afternoon I'm out in my patch, and I'm over at my broccoli patch at the moment, and the harvest is now in full swing. I did harvest a few heads earlier in the previous video, but now pretty much the majority of the bed is now ready to be harvested. So I'm going to start coming through, and what I do at this stage is just go through daily and just make sure I'm harvesting the heads at the right time. I've seen probably about 5 or 6 heads I need to harvest over the 3 different patches, so I'm going to go through and have a look at which ones I'm going to harvest now and bring them in. So when I'm harvesting my broccoli, what I am looking for is a really large but tight curds on the head. What I don't want it to do is to start separating, especially around the edges. Now, for me that looks, yeah, it's good size of my palm. That looks like it's ready to go. What you can see as well, if you look there, you can see that they've got side shoots, which are great, but I generally don't keep my broccoli for side shoots. I'd rather move the whole plant on and make up space for more plantings, whether it's broccoli or in this case spring veggies. But if you want, you can keep them and grow the side shoots, but for me, I'm happy just to clear it. What I do is just with a sharp knife straight in the bottom, and then that's my harvest. It's really good. So I'm going to go through it, just keep harvesting the rest. Nice one here. Coming back over to the cabbage patch, this is the ones I was harvesting earlier in the week, and most of the heads now are good to go. As you can see. See if there's a few more here. I think there's pretty much all of them already. Just a little bit small. Might leave these for a few more days, but I think I've got enough now. So there you go, I've got the 5 heads that I've harvested today. Really good size. There's a lot more coming through, and I would argue in the next week I'll have pretty much the most of those 3 beds harvested. So they will be moved on very shortly, and in this time next week, if all goes well, I'll be planting out my cucumbers in those spots. But I'm happy to take these inside now. They're looking quite clean. Gonna go give them a wash and have them for dinner tonight, so happy with that. I'm going to go see if there's anything else to harvest around here this afternoon. I just want to give you a quick update on my broccolis. After I harvested it, that round that you saw earlier in the video, it's now a couple of days later, it's on the weekend now, so I've come through and we've just had some really warm weather here in Sydney, and as a result all my broccolis really come to fruit. So I've just gone through now and just harvested a bucket load of broccoli. I've got 8 heads here, and these are some of the best heads I've seen even since autumn when I harvested my first round. I keep going on about this, and my advice for anyone trying to grow beautiful broccoli in Sydney is to try to find a warm season variety. And if you tend to grow in southern Queensland in winter especially, is a good one to grow all season in Sydney. It's really heat tolerant, so I find that I can grow broccoli from February all the way to October. My last plant will be harvested mid next month, and it won't bolt. So if you're looking at ways to grow good broccoli or a good harvested broccoli, make sure you look for warm season varieties for Sydney. If you're further south, say in Tasmania or in Victoria, a cooler season variety may be the way to go there. But anywhere from Sydney north, definitely go to warm season. I'm going to take these inside now and put them in nice, and then put them in the fridge for dinner later. There you go, beautiful. Thanks a lot everyone for joining me today in this video. I really appreciate the support. Over the next few weeks I'll be working a lot more with my summer crops, and especially my tomatoes as I start pruning and staking those. So I really hope you stick around and watch me as I work through those summer crops.